on.
ready to go.
Yes. The black claps. You feel me? You know what I mean? They turned up.
Nigga claps on a Wednesday. You know?
Turned up for.
Maybe I should have gotten.
That sound like a headline.
Maybe yeah.
Nigga claps for Wednesday. Yeah, that does sound like a headline.
So welcome. No, it's yeah. Welcome. What is wrong with this dude?
I mean, if only we had some KFC and some Hennessy.
Yeah, some Hennessy.
I mean, we offered Miracle Pizza Rock this morning.
Yeah. We're trying to
Miracle didn't want the Pizza Rock this early in the morning.
It so
the end of Black August. The end of Black August celebration. You know what I'm saying?
Why are we celebrating the end of Black August? Isn't it still August?
Yeah, but I'm saying tomorrow will be August 31st.
You mean today? Because we're recording in the past, but premiering in the future.
Yes.
Don't fuck up the sacred timeline, series. Come on.
Yes.
Time is nothing but an illusion.
A flat circle.
Yeah.
Pushed by white supremacy.
Ooh,
Lunchtime doubly so.
Wow. So welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. My name is Jasiri X. I'm co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. And to my immediate right,
the girl who should have took the Pizza Rock.
Yes.
It's your girl Miracle. What's up? What's poppin'? What's happening?
Could have created the cocktail on air. You know
I could. You know what? Listen. We still have 45 minutes to go.
Okay. And right in front of me.
Triple and less, never like supremacy.
Yes.
Saying, trying to keep the orange theme going today.
I feel that. The orange and the green. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of matching. You know what I mean? I like that. And my brother?
The sober supervillain.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The man who ordered you. You know what? I never really got, like, when I tell people I don't smoke or drink, whenever they be like, oh, that's so good for you. Like, how do you respond to that?
I mean, I guess it's, thanks.
Thank you. Like, thanks. Does that mean it's bad? Like, is my response then implying that I know that it's bad for you? And wouldn't that be, like, very arrogant of me to say thank you?
No, but thanks for noticing or whatever, you know.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I just hit him with the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, whenever I tell somebody I don't smoke, drink, or have children, they repeat it back to me like it's an order at a restaurant. They be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
That's funny.
But, you know.
It's like, I just choose peace.
I choose. Yes. Even though I do wake up in the morning and choose violence most days.
Most days.
I was trying to help you, but no.
Yeah.
So we do have a lot of. It's been a pretty white week.
It's been a rough.
Oh, God.
Pretty white week.
I'm dreaming of a white.
So I wanted to start, and this might not be the most important story, but it's a question, right? I like to have a discussion, you know, and so some a Twitter kerfuffle broke out.
Words. That's such a good word. Kerfuffle. It sounds like truffle butter, but it's like, you know, kerfuffle.
It broke out, and in the center of it was a young woman who is on the TV show Euphoria.
I still don't know which girl we're talking about.
What is her name on Euphoria?
The one that is always unclothed and then is having sex with her best friend.
That's all of them.
She cheated on her.
The one who got whooped.
She cheated.
I haven't got there yet.
She cheated on her best
stop
friend.
Questions.
Yeah, she was with her best friend's man.
Treble, have you seen it
on the show?
I forgot what her name is.
Is it the
blonde hair girl
with the big titties?
Blonde. I mean, I would probably say
the one whose mother's
I'll probably
alcoholic.
say
Okay.
The one whose mother's alcoholic.
Don't do that.
At a point, Ime.
We talking about Euphoria.
How are we
here,
going?
like,
that is true.
It's Euphoria.
It's
like,
Euphoria. It's a wild show.
That's probably the most mild thing that could be said about that show.
It's a wild show.
This is why we don't play charades or like 21 questions.
Yeah. So Sydney Sweeney posted pictures of her mom's, innocently enough.
I gotta see these photos
of her mom's 60th birthday party, and you know, I guess people began to look at her pictures as opposed to some of her family members' pictures, and what they found was that her mother's 60th birthday was a MAGA-themed birthday party where people
I'm
had
looking at the photos now.
People had red "Make 60 Great Again" hats. And then there was, I guess, a photo of her. Is this her grandfather? You said, Miracle?
Either her father or her grandfather.
He had a Blue Lives Matter shirt on. Then people went to her brother's Instagram, and It was a whole bunch of Trump-loving pictures and babies with Make America Great Again hats on. And so people started to say, hey, Sydney, your parents are wild racist. And so Sydney,
so leave them alone. They're just trying to be great.
Sydney's response was, you guys, this is wild. An innocent celebration for my mom's 60th birthday has turned into an absurd political statement, which was not the intention. Please stop making assumptions. Much love to everyone. And happy birthday, Mom.
What assumptions are there to be made? I think they pretty much came out and just said, hey, listen, this is where we stand.
The first comment said, assumptions? Question mark. Don't gaslight your fans. Many are likely young progressive people based on the content of the show that gave you fame. Your family is obviously far-right based on the Blue Lives Matter shirts and MAGA babies.
How they feel about her with a black guy on screen then?
I mean, they probably did not. I don't know. So I think that's the question. So does Sydney? I guess this is a question, right? Because I'm sure Sydney's not alone. I'm sure there's a lot of.
A lot of families were ruined over Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
No, they weren't.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
Right.
That was the problem.
You're 1,000% right.
You
are 1,000%
That was the problem.
Because it doesn't seem like Sydney is like yo, this is my family. We riding. Like, does she have a responsibility? Like, and do white children of racist families, do you have a responsibility to publicly go at your family, explain how you handle the racism of your family? How are we working with that in 2022?
So I do think it was it backfired on her trying to protect her family,
right,
and take responsibility for their racism. Because it's I understand this is your family. You don't want the world to come down on your family. But you do have to acknowledge the fact that what your family's or what your mom's birthday party theme was represents something that is heinous to a lot of people.
100%.
Represents something clearly racist.
Yes.
And if you don't align with that, let that be known. Because when you protect, you're basically an apologist at that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It's
right.
you know what? Don't come at my family. Let them be racist in peace. It's no, we're not.
It's an innocent celebration. That's a great
not,
question, right?
yeah.
When you say an innocent celebration, but you seeing Blue Lives Matter shirts and you seeing the kind of MAGA themed, and then you find out that her whole family loves Trump, and obviously what that means to us as black and brown people oftentimes is. You embrace Trump's white supremacist rhetoric as well, particularly if you're going to buy a hat. If you're going to buy a hat and put it on the baby, this is somebody that you love. Is that innocent? You're shaking your head, Miracle. You don't agree?
A great man
Let her
once
family
said,
be racist?
I wasn't hiding my family from the world.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Follow Drake.
And this is why, because we wouldn't have a clue if her family was racist if she wouldn't post the photos.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. There's Photoshop. There's all these different type of apps you can use to
blur the
that's why you do that family photo. You could have done some stage photos and kept it moving.
Yep. Could have posted some TBTs. You know what I'm saying?
Literally, it was hilarious to me. But what is funny is this just highlights the idea that a lot of people really are uncomfortable talking about any type of issues with their family members. And that to me is so foreign, just because I think that black people, we talk about everything. Even if we don't agree, whether it's the barbershop talk or whatever, we're always having conversations that are inherently political. And so
Cousin George on that shit again.
Listen, we all have the Hotep uncle.
True.
Somebody's talking about conspiracies.
Right.
The one grandpa who's lived through everything.
The true history of Thanksgiving.
All type of stuff. We have those in our family. So it's very weird to see this and for her to be offended. Man, that's a Blue Lives Matter shirt. Y'all had to go out and grab that. That Make 60th, now that was a good theme. I'm not going to lie.
Make 60 great again?
I was okay, but you had to buy those.
Yes.
You had to make that. So it was you did this intentionally. And again, you could have just kept this off social media.
Yeah, and that's where I am with it. Like, if that's how you want to party, cool. Like, no one's going to police your party.
No, because I have friends who are conservative, and they know not to tag me and stuff. Oh, really? They know not to post that we know each other in real life.
Got you.
Like, I have a "do not embarrass me"
clause. Don't claim her or don't embarrass her.
Exactly. I'm the easiest
don't you dare
person
claim
to
her.
get along with.
Yeah, and
don't
it's like,
claim me and don't embarrass me. Like,
that's hilarious.
I think I'm starting to understand that like a lot of white people don't see their support of Trump as racist. A lot of them see it as like strictly economic or whatever reason they have for it. And it shows their white supremacy because they're not acknowledging the fact that, hey, these beliefs could be harmful to someone. Just acknowledge it.
Yeah, and I think like, I don't know if it's economic when you start buying the merchandise. Like, if you're somebody that you voted for this dude and you just kept it moving, like, that's a one thing. But when you start like rocking hats and you're buying the merchandise, you're buying the Blue Lives Matter clothes, like, you've moved into like a point where you want to let other people know.
Like you said, it's a uniform.
Right.
It's a uniform.
I'm down with this. This is what I'm down with. And being down with Trump means, in many cases, like, you're representing this idea of like, you know, white supremacy and black inferiority, that we're from shithole countries and our cities are shitholes and all of these, you know, his documented, you know, racism that has occurred over and over and over again, and that he's like allowed to fester and grow within his own party. And so, I mean, so like, again, I think like, okay, let's say she doesn't put it online and we don't know. Does she still, I guess, if she's somebody, you know, Euphoria is a very multicultural show. You know, she had like a black boyfriend in the show. Like, does she have a responsibility, or do, you know, white people in racist families in general, do they have a responsibility to like challenge like their parents?
Only if they disagree with them.
Yes. Yes. Because if they don't, then we get shit like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only, like, you know what I mean? If my dad, you know, if my dad brought me up on boxing,
right?
If I didn't like boxing, I'd be like, well, I don't want to watch boxing tonight.
Right.
I mean, that might be a very innocuous metaphor, but like, you know what I mean? But it's like, if I disagree, then I would say something. But if I don't,
or kind of like Treble said, if you like, it's not like Trump's rhetoric harms her. You know what I'm saying? Like, Trump's rhetoric doesn't harm her at all. Like, she can just move through the world as kind of like, and I think that goes to your point.
Blonde hair and blue eyes.
Right.
Like, come on.
I think it goes to your point, Miracle, with like the conversation in black families. Like, we can't move through the world apolitically. Like, we're like, our lives are political just being black. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, you know, all of these things ends up affecting us or somebody in our family in some way. You know, you go into a classroom, you say like, who here has a relative that's incarcerated, and everybody raise their hand, right? These policies actually affect us. And so it's like, it forces us in many ways to be more political. But like, I think that's one of the things like we're asking white people to do in this moment, right? Is to be more political, to be more outspoken, to challenge, you know, some of these ideas in your family if you don't agree with them. You know what I'm saying? If you agree with them and you just keeping your agreement silent, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it makes me question, because I know like one thing that's true for all of us is that like, oftentimes early in our lives, we have to have the uncomfortable conversation that we are black in America and what that means.
Yes.
So now this political, uncomfortable conversation kind of becomes like normal for us.
100%.
And for most white people, I don't think that conversation is normal, because you don't have to talk about how being white in America affects your existence.
Man, I was watching a documentary yesterday, and that's what it was. And this was in the 80s. And the guy, a young boy in Queens, had got shot and killed by a police officer. I think he was like 10 or 13 years old or something. And that's what the guy said. This was about the Supreme Team. He said that the police murdering his boy, like, changed the whole way he saw the world. And that in that moment he realized, oh man, I'm a second class citizen. Like, as a black person, I could just be killed and nothing will happen. Like, and it like shaped his thinking from like that moment on in his entire life. But like you said, like, what moment is that for like a white person? You know what I'm saying? I guess maybe the Capitol riot.
But I also think it's very important to say that confrontation doesn't have to be violent. Like, your parent or grandparent or somebody can say that, and you can be like, well, what do you mean by that? Or why do you think that way?
Right.
I was in a class and this lady said, her family, they never talk about who they vote for. They never talk about politics. And
like at their house?
Like at their house.
Okay.
Like never. Like it's never a conversation.
It's like on the list of like don't talk
about it. Like grew up, didn't talk about it. Family don't talk about it. Her kids don't talk about it.
Wow.
And I was just like, that is different.
Yeah,
So like I'm like, you're watching the news and you don't even comment on
nope.
what's happening. There's a protest outside and they're just don't talk about it. And so I think that some people lack the actual skill set to say, hey, like maybe we shouldn't wear a Blue Lives Matter flag. Maybe we should just do a different thing.
Right.
Or
like even like what does the Blue Lives Matter flag mean when like all these cops went
it means
to
we protect the Smurfs.
No, I'm just saying when all these cops like went to the Capitol riot and beat other cops. Like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what does that mean? And it's like it Blue Lives Matter until they're black cops at the Capitol, then they're liars and we hate them and they're against Donald Trump and all this other stuff.
The whole Blue Lives Matter kind of rhetoric got holes poked into it when mask mandates came out. And all those upset white people were yelling in those cops' faces. Yep. You know what I mean? With unmasked and everything like that.
Absolutely.
Like, while COVID was still killing, thousands and thousands of people a day, I guess Blue Lives didn't matter on those days.
And the biggest killer of police officers
was
in
COVID.
The last 2 years was COVID, like by far.
Yeah, COVID.
Not even close. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So COVID was actually taking the lives of officers and, a lot of these maskers didn't mind. But I mean, I think this.
I want to have a philosophical conversation with someone about what is a blue life. Because in my eyes, like blue is an occupation.
Yeah, come on, man.
You can change your job and no longer be a blue life.
Absolutely,
you know what
it doesn't. And like you said, and it's like, again, in what context?
You know what I'm saying?
In what context? Because if you're protecting the Capitol when y'all want to run in and get Nancy Pelosi and these people, then all of a sudden blue lives don't matter in that moment because you literally beat up police officers. And these were police officers and military people that beat up police officers. But it was another kind of conversation, I guess, kind of that dovetails in this with Joe Rogan, right? And I remember when it was like a big deal. Remember when like a few years ago when Joe Rogan had said like he liked Bernie Sanders and everybody was like, oh, he loves Bernie Sanders.
I don't remember him saying that.
And there was a lot of people that was like, yo, like maybe Bernie's people don't want to embrace this dude because he has this history of saying wild stuff and
I did not
being
know
racist.
This ever happened.
Yeah, but apparently, it's funny to me because I'm just like, people said Joe Rogan couldn't say nigga, and he just went full on MAGA. I can't say nigga anymore. Oh, guess what? Right. I'm a full-fledged Republican now. So if you have the video, Joe Rogan on his show, and of course Joe Rogan has one of the largest platforms. He's the probably the most listened to podcast. And Joe Rogan came out and
we have a lot of listeners too.
Oh, we do. And we're hopefully going to get.
Right now.
Hopefully, we're going to get more.
Not about us. Right
yes. Hopefully, we'll get more.
It's always about me.
It was controversy because I guess Mark Zuckerberg was on the show, the Joe Rogan show, and said some stuff about the FBI and the MAGA crowd went crazy, and then I guess
like in a good way or a bad way.
They basically was saying like the FBI was going to these social media people at the end of the last election in 2020 saying be careful of Russian propaganda, and then people felt like the Hunter Biden story got suppressed, and that people had have known what was on Hunter Biden's laptop that Donald Trump would have won, but
it was cocaine.
And girls, that made him more popular.
That's what was on Hunter Biden's laptop.
But what was wild is I thought Trump did win.
Ooh.
Did Trump not win, or did he win? I thought you told me he won. So I don't know. So now Joe Rogan had on Aaron Rodgers.
They said Aaron Rodgers was like a motivational cocaine dealer.
Oh shit. That's a wild description.
I was weak. That's hilarious. So did you want to play the clip of Joe Rogan and Aaron Rodgers in conversation?
I mean, do we have to?
Yeah, I guess let's hear from Joe Rogan's own lips.
Day I'd ever experienced a true pandemic. And I'm hoping that now that this is over, people are going to, recognize that some serious errors were made and not repeat those. That's the best you can get out of it.
So what do you tell those people?
Vote Republican. That's what a lot of them are going to do anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, more than 1 million people transferred over to the Republican Party, I think, in 2021 alone. Find out what that number is. But, you look at guys like Ron DeSantis, who kept Florida open and had some pretty reasonable policies in terms of, like, what to do about COVID. And, he mapped it out on television. He was, widely criticized for this.
And not only that, you can pause it.
Where he was saying, like, we need to protect our elders.
You're not going to protect your elders from COVID, my nigga. That's exactly what didn't happen. That's exactly what did not happen.
But what's also wild is, like, you're talking about Ron DeSantis having reasonable policies in the face of, like, all of this critical race theory.
Well, Joe was upset that they tried to make his daughter anti-racist. Remember?
Of course
that is a reasonable policy to him.
But I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. So, like, all these attacks on black people, on black voters, on, voters that were ex-offenders voting now, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Teachers have to say, like, what your political affiliation is. He's, like, targeting progressive people and, like, firing them. I mean, he's going at Disney because of what they put in the movie. Like, and it's like
too many brown people in Disney.
And it's funny because Disney is run by these conservatives,
right?
And they're just like, we have to do this for our fan base, right? And it's just like hilarious to watch.
But it's just wild to me that, like, here's this guy, like, in Joe Rogan's mind, like, if you ask Joe Rogan, like, in his mind, he's not racist. He's not like a white supremacist.
No, because he's friends with Dave Chappelle.
Right.
I have a black friend.
Right. Even though he said, like, he's on video saying nigga like 500 times. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's this idea that, like, oh, well, you should vote Republican because of these policies. Fuck what they mean to black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck if they mean, like, black people dying or are mass incarcerated or being attacked and killed, not having the DOJ investigating these cases. Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to move around in the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to pay less taxes. And it's this idea of, like, this, like, cognitive dissonance that these white people have, where it could be like, oh, I like you or love you as a black person, but if there's policies that might make me a little bit uncomfortable as a white person, but that would help you as a black person and brown person, I ain't fucking with that.
And the thing is,
America,
yeah.
All we said was stay home for 2 weeks.
That's all we said.
2 weeks for the families that you want to force people to have, the people you want to be with, just for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just stay home.
Because you're not going to tell me what to do in this land.
For 2 weeks.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care if it's 2 hours. You're not going to tell me what I don't want to be around these motherfuckers, Miracle. I had 4 kids.
People were sneaky linking. We found out people were traveling. People were saying they were wearing masks and they didn't.
Absolutely.
People had COVID. It was like, I'm going to go out anyways. All this type of stuff. Yeah. And here we are. Like, it didn't have to be this way.
And for percentage wise, like, a lot of, like, people that died were black and brown people, right?
Yep.
I saw a study where it was like
overwhelming majority.
Yeah, it was like 1 of every 5 like black person like actually lost somebody during COVID. But again, it's like fuck all that. Like these people died, so what? Like I wasn't able to go to the store. I had to put a mask on when I went to the store. I had to get my alcohol shipped to me through Uber Eats, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just wild to me.
They took that away, and they need to bring it back.
Well, Miracle, we have some Ciroc for you right here.
They need to bring back the shipping of the alcohol, the walking outside with open containers. Bring all of that back.
They took all that back. Make America great again, Miracle?
No. Take us to the future.
There are black people in the future.
Yes.
Go ahead.
These policies were very bare minimum.
And
had people not been so selfish, like hoarding masks, hoarding sanitizer, hoarding Lysol, we would have been able to have a robust conversation and implementation of policies that allow people to go out. In some other countries, it was like if you had a zip code that ended in a odd number, you would go out Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Right.
Other people go Tuesday, Thursday. We couldn't even do that here because we were so selfish. And that's the problem. And for these guys to sit there and just laugh, not only did they get COVID, they went and had the best medical treatment.
100%, yeah.
Like
Joe Rogan,
this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then kept on going. They didn't
Absolutely.
do the stuff that we had to do, wait 4 or 5 days to get treated.
100%.
No, they were able to consult with doctors, call up physicians, have all this power and privilege, and they laugh about it instead of fighting to make sure people have the same access and power and privilege that they have.
100%. Yeah. I mean, they remember Donald Trump when he got whatever I forget what the experimental thing that he got to help him from COVID. He said, I'm going to make sure this is available for all Americans. And then, he didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He turned around, didn't do that. So that is, I just think it's wild that like you would look at this one thing from Ron DeSantis and ignore all of this other like racist, bigoted policies and ideas. And because of that one thing, because it makes you like be able to walk around better. Again, this is Joe Rogan. This is somebody that like has all access to anything he would want, need, have. And it's like that little inconvenience makes you say, fuck all this racist stuff that this guy does. Like, I want him to be president because he kept Florida open during the pandemic. And that's the kind of thinking that I want. It's just wild to me because it makes me wonder, like, what conversations then do you have with a Dave Chappelle or do you have with a black person that you say you love when you're like embracing this dude who's basically saying like the teaching of our history should be banned from schools? Like, and like, we have to make sure that these teachers aren't teaching like the history of what happened to us in this country. I mean, it's just wild to me.
Dave Chappelle's going to be like, that's your go-to? I mean, the man who said, yes, my art is offensive, but you're not criticizing my art, the delivery, the closer, the timing of my hate speech. That's the person you want?
Farouk said Dave Chappelle was his good friend. So, and I know Joe Rogan has two good friends off the top of my head.
Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle.
No, I was going to say Dave Chappelle and Kanye West. And those are, we know Kanye ain't going to say anything.
We SOL, bro.
We out of here. So where do I guess another story, right? About just like black people just trying to live and white people just wanting to be racist for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
Because there's always a reason.
Right. Their freedoms.
There's always a reason.
Like, and that's what it comes to. Like, because, Rogan talked about, like, he protect your freedom. And it's like, why is white people's freedom always to, like, kill, brutalize, be racist towards us? Like, and when we don't want them to do that, now it's always, like, infringing on your freedom. Think about, like, first of all, like, who's going to, like, a college volleyball game? Right. Like, I mean, like, I would think that the people that would go to a college, like people, it's not like this is a big sport, right? It's not like this is basketball or football. So probably people that are friends and family, and maybe you got some folks that really like the sport of volleyball, but to go to a college volleyball game, are you mad that a black person can play? Is that the thing? So for those that don't know, at BYU and Duke had a volleyball game, and BYU had a person, Duke had a black woman that is on the volleyball team. I wanted to get the sister's name. Can somebody help me with the sister's name? Oh, Rachel Richardson. Mm-hmm. So Rachel Richardson said,
"School for Rachel Richardson, but she was white."
Okay, well, this is Rachel. Rachel said every time, and first I think her mom put it out there, right? Every time she served during this volleyball game, she was called a racial slur.
What was the racial slur?
I mean, they did not say, but I could just imagine. You know what I'm saying? But the thing,
the spirit of Don Imus is alive and well.
The thing about like
nappy-headed hoe.
This volleyball games means so much to you. Like this college volleyball game.
It's BYU. This is what you expect from BYU.
But I'm saying
like it's literally in the doctrine of what they believe in to be racist.
I mean, Mormonism. I guess black people just became cool like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, like you're just now allowed in the kingdom of heaven if you're Mormon and black.
2 weeks ago, like black people became.
There was a lot of bureaucracy that had to be. We had to consult with God, make sure that was okay. You know what I mean? And don't they have like a magical snake?
I have no idea, and I don't want to get into disrespecting anybody else's religion. But I think like this is my thing. Like this volleyball game this college volleyball game means so much to you.
Yes, it does.
That you are going to call this black woman a racial slur every time she serves?
That's conviction.
And she said that racial heckling actually turned into threats, which caused us to feel unsafe. Both the officials and BY coaching staff were made aware of the incident during the game. This is from Rachel's own mouth, but failed to take the necessary steps to stop the accepted behavior and create a safe environment. They said, I guess at one point they had to like put a police officer on the bench. I mean, like, hey, yo, I mean, is the game that important? I mean, at some point, can we just stop the game? And I mean, can't we? How many niggas does it take? I mean, how many times do you got to call this woman a nigger before you get removed from the game? We can't kick this motherfucker out.
How many niggas does it take to end a volleyball game? Let me count the ways.
Because then if Rachel's called a nigga on serve 1 and spiked the ball in this motherfucker's face,
then
you know what I'm saying? She's bad. She's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry.
I don't get why people go to sports games and are racist. You know, because people always like to say sports and music, that's what brings us all together.
True.
And it's like whether it is, you know, the wrestlers talking about Jig for Me Boy, or whether it's people doing like the tomahawk chants,
or putting cotton in somebody's hair.
You know, like why can't we just have good old fashioned, you know, sports where people are entertained, have fun, come together, go home. You boo the other side. You do your little chants.
It sounds like you're trying to infringe on the freedom
of
God-loving white Americans.
It sounds like to me. That's exactly what it sounds like to me.
These God-loving white Americans paid their money, and they're going to be racist if they paid their money.
I don't, because people talk about even now going to the NBA games and throwing stuff on players. We've seen, you know, internationally the soccer fans like
You just had that
make monkey noises and throw bananas at the black soccer players.
Yeah,
like so I just don't get why sports is so racist.
Yeah,
when it's supposed to be this competitive, like having fun, enjoying a good time. You know, like going for your teammates. I don't get it, and then. For everyone to be like, we're just going to keep playing.
Yeah.
We're going to be resilient. Like, fuck resiliency. Walk 100%. Away.
Yes.
Just like, make your players safe.
Absolutely.
I don't get it, because if we were doing a concert
100%
and someone said we made them feel unsafe,
yes,
the concert gets shut down.
Gets shut down immediately. And like you said, like at some point, like, you know, in solidarity, the other team should be like, yo, we are not going to keep being out here while every time our black teammate goes to serve the ball, they start shouting racial epithets like, nah, we ain't playing the game. Like at some point, like and this is where, you know, they talk about both sides fail. The coach, the Duke University volleyball coach, has to come out there and be like, either this person is removed or these people are removed or we're not playing anymore. But I'm not going to just subject my player to this. And like you said, too often, particularly when we talked about, you mentioned the baseball story where they put all the cotton in his boy's hair. Like if you're one of the only black people in these spaces, you're asked to just endure racism for the good of everybody. And it's like, nah, fuck, like we should not have to do that. And if I spike the ball in this man's face, like I'm well within my right. If you're attacking me and threatening me and I respond, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm well within my right to do that. But, of course, then she loses her scholarship. Then she's kicked out of the university and all these other. Then we got all of this smoke for everybody. But we can just let these people just continue to be racist, or we'll just put a cop here. Why can't these people be asked to leave? You know what I'm saying? We've seen the smallest things happen and people be asked to leave in these different games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's like, it's interesting because what's sad about it is if she were to confront her teammates and the coaches about how they allowed certain things to happen during the games, she'd probably be hit with the ultimatum of like, well, you don't have to be here.
Sure.
You can leave. Why don't you
if you don't
just
love
leave?
It, leave.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's about more than that. Like she's probably passionate about volleyball, which is why she continued the game.
Right.
But it's like, right now, she's being forced to choose between her passion and her safety in a way that it doesn't seem anybody on her team fully understands or wants to take the time out to try and understand.
Yeah. I mean, I just think about like how racist of a campus that you have to be where you have to like ban people from like all sporting events. You have to like ban all the fans from all sporting events so people just don't be racist and embarrass your university. I mean, that's wild, man.
But it also shows that people, like I said earlier, people just do not have the language to confront racism when they see it.
Right.
It's okay to be like, I'm a free speech enthusiast. Black lives don't matter. Da, da, da. But then when it's in your courtroom, when it's on your volleyball field, you don't know what to say.
Right.
Like the Brigham Young guy, the athletic director was like, we don't do that here. What is that? You couldn't even say. We don't disrespect
Couldn't
women
even say
here.
be
We
racist.
don't say anti-black things here. Couldn't say it. No one knew what to do. And it goes to show, like, we're talking about schools. We're talking about this, the future of our country, where we're in this multicultural universe. And teachers, parents, police, no one knows what to do.
Right. Steps it up. He could go for the stoppage, but then Golovkin.
That was an accident.
Okay.
That's what that was.
No, I'm still on
You're
Twitter.
taking too long to talk.
All right.
And make your point.
Yeah. But I mean, and then even if you say like, it says one fan has been banned, the school is continuing to seek more information. But I think just like you said, it's like we're in 2022. We saw an uprising 2 years ago that took over everything. And it's like there's no like policies as to like, if somebody is like being, racially insensitive, or even if somebody is attacking, verbally abusing like a athlete, there's like no policy to say like that person needs to be asked to be removed. That person needs to be banned. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it says they had to send 4 ushers and a police officer into the crowd during Friday's match. But they weren't able to identify the perpetrators. Come on.
They said it was multiple people. And I think we keep talking about this one person kicked out, like the one person who was the loudest and who just coincidentally wasn't a student. That person gets banned from volleyball. Like,
yeah. I mean, and that's what and I guess it says the Duke players identified the fan, but yeah, I mean it again, it goes into like, this is like the price of being black. This is that world and experience of being black that the Sydney Sweeneys and Joe Rogans don't know, and they really don't care about. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't really care about like the discomfort and the racism and the white supremacy you have to face every day. As long as I'm good, as long as, we gonna have our party. You know what I'm saying? We gonna celebrate our MAGA family. It's just, it's kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? Any other comments? Do you have a comment, Farouk, about BYU?
I mean, that's what I would expect from BYU, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, Utah isn't one of the
most inclusive areas in the world.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes,
no,
yes.
like, yeah. I would argue against Miracle that racism belongs in sports just as much as it does in the fabric of the country.
Yeah.
Like, when you had, I forget who it was that wrote that the Brown Bomber was a credit to his race, right, as a boxer, because
right.
That lays the foundation for it to exist in sports commentary, in the competition aspect of it. Like, that's what sports is based off of. You literally have a set of games that happens every 4 years that pits countries against each other, athlete against athlete, for supremacy. That
has a history. I mean, we talked about I don't know if we want to get back into slavery.
Slavery Avery, the best name in the history of names.
The head of the IOC Olympic Committee for how many years? Like 60 years?
Yeah, but say, forever and a day. His name was Slavery.
I mean, yes, there is a long history of bigotry in sports.
Don't change it, Miracle.
First of all, I wasn't changing it.
She was saying it should be. She was saying like, what America. She didn't say it was no racism.
The Boston Celtics would quit if you weren't allowed to have racism anymore. The Celtics would exit the
fans
NBA.
Would quit.
The Red Sox would quit. The Patriots would go away.
I get it. Like, I understand that, but I'm talking about like the fans. Like, what is it? Why can't you just go and sit and enjoy the game?
Just enjoy the
game. Because that's part of your process for them. Like, that's what makes the game enjoyable. Maybe I can buy this ticket. Right? I can buy this ticket. And y'all want me to
go to sporting events.
Call this big black guy nigger for 60 minutes.
But that's the fun part of the game for them.
Wow. That is
wild. Really is. It's like,
watch my niggas run, right?
Because it's like they're at the auction block.
This is why you got to go to games in the South, because the fans are like 60% black.
Oh yeah,
or you know, Hispanic or Latino. You say that we swing it in the You gotta yell something else.
But again, and then like those people would be made to be like, look at these black fans, they're animals. It would be like that would be made to look at. I mean, you know, and there was just a documentary about the Malice in the Palace, and it was like that
was a great.
And in the moment, it was like the Pistons were looked at being these like
thugs, man.
Right,
thug culture was what was called into question in the NBA.
Right, and then when you actually looked at what happened, they were like literally out there fighting for their lives. I mean, they thought that they were going to die in that moment, and they were surrounded by all of these drunk white fans that came up and to attack them. And it was a real, like, when you actually did the knowledge, it was like, oh, this is much different than what was portrayed. You know what I'm saying?
I remember I was actually watching that game when it happened, like on TNT.
Oh, wow.
That shit was
well. I didn't want to get off of our point because we brought up slavery. Speaking of slavery,
Avery.
Oh God,
no. Apparently, you know, we have a Republican nominee for governor.
Do we now?
Named Doug Mastriano, and you know, Doug Mastriano was I guess he was teaching at a college, the Army War College. And they basically said, hey, we're going to take this picture. Everybody, you know, if you want to, you can dress up as a historical figure. and Doug Mastriano decided that he was going to wear a Confederate soldier uniform.
And in case you're not believing us.
Yeah. There he is. Let me get those ads out of there.
Yeah. He is a Civil War enthusiast.
Is he?
Okay. He just happened to have that uniform. He just happened to have that in his closet. And that's what he decided to wear.
Well, I mean, so he hasn't responded to comments.
How do you respond to
this? I guess and
you're wearing an enemy nation's uniform.
Well, not only that, like if you're from Pennsylvania, again, like if you're from Pennsylvania, like your ancestors would have been fighting for the North, right? Yeah, they would have been fighting. So it's like, why? What? Let me think. What
if only you were allowed to properly teach.
No.
He was a teacher.
What characteristics of the Confederacy do we think Doug Mastriano really likes? Yeah. Is there something that Confederates were doing?
The Christianity part.
The North wasn't Christians?
They were just Christian. That's why he goes.
He liked the flag. He liked the X.
The flags. He's defended. He has for the past couple of years defended
trending on Twitter
Confederate memorials.
It's a Wednesday. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, I think like again, and it always was weird to me.
Pennsylvania was racist as fuck, and y'all pretending like it wasn't.
Pennsylvania is racist. I mean, it reminds me. It was a book about sundown towns, and it said Pennsylvania had like the second most sundown towns of any state, which was fascinating to me. I
never understood that because like Pennsylvania's black population at the time wasn't even the largest in the nation.
Yeah,
they didn't even have the most steel mills. Right, so for them to be like so racist.
Yeah,
legit, and it was mostly new immigrants,
100%.
So it was like y'all could just all gotten together.
But I mean, I think my thing is it fascinates me. Like if you're from Pennsylvania, you're from the North, and you have this fascination with the Confederacy and the Confederate. Like my only guess. is that you're just an outright white supremacist? Why else would you love the Confederacy? Like, why else? Like, they lost one. I mean, if you're all about winning, they lost. And it's like they were fighting to continue slavery. That was one of the reasons.
States' rights.
Right. What rights would those states want, Miracle?
Economic benefits.
The right to own black people. So it's like, here you are, like, and it's wild because the Army War College actually put a statement out. The faculty photo did not get the team's attention. The photo has since been removed because it does not meet with the Army War College values.
Yes, the fuck it does.
The Army supports commanders who remove symbols or images that do not comport with the Army values. So they're even like, they even put a statement out saying like, these values we don't agree with. But this man is actually, he could be the governor of Pennsylvania. I mean, of course, there was talks about how he paid the guy that runs the social media app Gab thousands of dollars. Gab was the app that the shooter of Tree of Life came off of and was inspired to commit this horrible tragedy.
I did not know that.
So there's been a lot of talk about Mastriano's anti-Semitism, and now you're dressed as a Confederate soldier. They said that a video surfaced where he walked over to men with a Confederate flag truck and thanked them for defending a Robert E. Lee statue at Gettysburg.
He is a Civil War Confederate enthusiast. I don't know what you want him.
He about to hire you, Mary.
I don't know what you want him to say.
He is a white supremacist.
He said his part of history will be taught and will be preserved. He don't know what you colors are doing, and he's living his best life. But no, it's kind of funny that all of this is happening, and people are acting like they're surprised, like they're not Civil War reenactments that happen in Pennsylvania all the time. I've said before, I only take the little, what's it called? We got to pay the tolls when you travel in Pennsylvania.
Yes,
the turnpike.
Turnpike. Okay. Yes.
Because I have learned the hard way, when you get off on them streets, all you see is Confederate flags and white supremacists. Yeah. I literally was driving and I saw a bunch of white supremacists doing a drill, and I said, "Oh Lord, I'm about to die." And I was like, "Lord, please, I just need to go. I just need to get." But yeah, they do full on, head to toe regalia. Yeah. They have these patches.
I think those are called Klan uniforms, man.
Well, they have newer ones. And
Gravy Seals. Gravy Seals, man.
The Son-in-Law, Poverty Center has all of the, the symbols. It's over 300 symbols. I don't got the time to learn all the lightning bolts there is that these people use. But it's mad wild, and I don't really get it because Pennsylvania benefited from the end, of slavery. From the business, from having the steel mills, having a bunch of workers come up here in Pennsylvania. Up until, the fall of the steel industry in the 70s and 60s, Pennsylvania really benefited. And I don't understand where a lot of the anti-blackness and the rhetoric comes from. Yeah. Because you have your schools, you have your education, your business centers, your airports, all of the great stuff that y'all had was because of the industry, because everybody had to come to the north to have industry instead of going to the south. So I don't really get why people just are so into playing in the dirt over the weekend and not eating, having to hunt to prepare for a race war, when it's like, bro, y'all already won.
Right.
Don't get it. It's not for me.
It says more than 33,000 soldiers from Pennsylvania died fighting for the Union during the Civil War against the Confederacy. You know what I'm saying? Wow, we only have a few minutes left. Did we want to get into, I guess, the fact that, Donald Trump believes he should be immediately made the president of the United States? I mean,
immediately, again?
Yes.
Immediately after he said this 2 years ago?
Listen to this story. This is how they start the story. Former President Donald Trump on Monday took time off from melting down over the FBI executing a search warrant at his home.
Wow, that's hilarious.
The twice impeached president did propose. I guess he's saying
that is a scathing opening. Oh my God! Paragraph.
So basically,
the twice impeached president.
I had talked about Zuckerberg saying the FBI said they want to clamp down on Russian propaganda. Clamp down on Russian propaganda. Clamp. So Trump is saying that I guess hurt the election. So he basically said that the 2020 vote is irreparably compromised.
Oh, is it now? Okay.
And he said basically either you return him to the White House now,
or else,
or hold a new election immediately.
Who are you to give orders? No one has to listen to you.
He is the rightful president of the United States, for
apparently. No one has to. You have no authority, my nigga.
The Hunter Biden laptop, when it was re-released, everybody thought it was cool.
Yeah, everybody thought it was hilarious.
It would have made more people go out and vote for Biden. That man was just having the time of his life.
What was on the laptop?
He was smoking crack and being with the girls in Ukraine or Russia.
Did you see that they're making a movie about it? Like these conservatives.
I told you, my cousin made a hip hop song to it.
And you know who's in the movie is what was homegirl that was in The Mandalorian?
Oh, Gina Carano.
And it's like,
she's in there?
You couldn't just, this is how white supremacy works. Like, all you had to do was just not be racist. Like,
you had the bag from Disney.
And look,
you had the bag from Disney, Gina.
They just told you. They just said, hey, just don't be racist on your Twitter.
Robert Downey Jr. is a Trumper. And he's quiet about it.
All you have to, Chris Pratt ain't been saying shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just be quiet and make this Disney money.
It was like,
and do a fake account.
She was like, right.
Get a burner account. That's it.
And it was like she couldn't stop. She was like, you know what? A bag from Disney in my own show. Racism trumps that. I gotta be racist.
Literally.
But
like,
speaking
you can't steal property and benefit from it.
Speaking of a racist parody Twitter account, I forgot about. We gotta talk about this story because
tweets.
Last week we talked about a firefighter again. Being black in America, who was told he had to be at this party. And I guess it was a Juneteenth party. And the black firefighter gets to the party, and it's Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's Hennessy. It is a Trump cutout. And so the firefighter sued. He sued the department for forcing him to go to this racist Juneteenth party. And again, his captain was fired. But again, the people who hosted the party, I don't know, maybe you could have just shut the fuck up. They felt
Fifth
the need.
Amendment's right there, y'all.
They felt they had to do this press conference because they were called into question. There's nothing. Go back in our 50 years and try to find anything that would show we could possibly be racist. And guess what they found? They found the woman's parody Twitter account that was filled with just straight up racism.
That's it?
Yes. Ho ho homeboy ROC. And when confronted about her racist Twitter account,
Sam from Alabama. wait. What them council folk beneath Lordy? Look at them. They big as balls. Even that hand lady.
Terrible.
And so, and
great content.
And then she basically just said, "Hey, I apologize. Like, I apologize for my Twitter. What is the big yes, Miracle? Yes.
I thought it was like a random digital blackface.
Look at this
parody.
She was
account.
Yes, she was tweeting this. Yes. Her name is Mary Nicosia, and although she denied being racist, it was revealed that she ran this
your Twitter account said that was a lie.
Tweets, which she said she apologized for. And so again, I mean, it's so hilarious that the lengths this white woman would try to go to prove she's not racist just to get a blue verified Twitter check of your racism. Any other comments about Mary?
I just think it's hilarious that they held this.
The buckets of fried chicken, the Juneteenth cups and flags,
this is the press conference.
As other racial stereotypes, including the Hennessy. You had no clue about
it. And fried chicken.
Anything is possible.
On a parody Twitter account.
I'm not going to really speak to my parody Twitter account, and I can see where you can
you
try to link the two.
I could see how you say that racist, but in my defense, I was using that under the guise of anonymity. I didn't think I'd be actually found out.
She said that was the culture of Twitter.
I think that Corey covered the stereotypical things at the party. I grew up in East Cleveland. I'm aware of the perception of KFC. Was that the?
I grew up around niggas. I know they love chicken. I know for a fact these niggas love chicken
and Hennessy, chicken and Hennessy,
because anything is possible.
Easy meal. So
she shouldn't have said anything, and this is why
that's all I can really say.
A lawyer
it was not.
The lawyer didn't help her.
The lawyer did not help her at all.
No, the lawyer. Hold on. Listen to what the lawyer says.
So you're pushing racist comments on a parody account.
I've made my apologies.
I've apologized to you niggas. Just let it go.
Racist comments on this parody account. How are those? And we've heard from
the way she looks.
She was like, "Why did they do research?
You claim you aren't racist, but are pushing racist comments. How does that? Can you break up the difference for me? I guess."
Let me start, and then Mary can talk.
The lawyer was
just so it's clear.
To not to the rescue.
The claim that was filed had nothing to do with her Twitter account. This claim was filed based upon what existed at the party and what took place that day.
You niggas just happened to...
There's
like
no
Scooby-Doo,
question
and I wouldn't have got away with
somebody
it.
that has a racist Twitter account, which Mary did, is somebody that's going to be somewhat aware, I guess, of these racial tropes. No question about that. But the manner in which the party was conducted and the way in which they've led their lives is not consistent with this party being racist. No question. If you look at her Twitter account, yep, that's racist.
But the way she's lived her life, except for the times that she was on Twitter, finding and putting out racist memes.
She's only racist online. That's what you have to learn about Mary. Like in person, she's a pleasant woman.
Her husband must love her.
Unless they have a party and they're bringing mad fried chicken.
Yo, listen, I would have got a refund from this nigga for keeping him on retainer.
Oh my God.
Like your services will no longer be needed.
First of all,
this is the wild part. It says the lawyer said she doesn't live her life how she treats other human beings in the same way as her secret account, which is racist, wrong, and vile, adding there may have been more than one racist.
I got too much for one account.
She did multiple accounts. She admitted to one, and every time they do an interview, she admits to another one.
That's
it
crazy.
is hilarious.
Oh my God.
It's just wild to think that he's trying to formulate this argument that yes, she has a racist Twitter account, but this has no connection to
all this
racist party that we are here to discuss.
You know what was also wild? Like if you watched the whole press conference, and I would advise you to find it, they actually had pictures from the party.
Oh, man.
And then they found out that, no, these weren't actually pictures of the party. Like, they tried to reenact. They, like, created, like, fake pictures to try to make it seem like the party wasn't even racist.
So they hired a whole PR team and an event specialist.
And the lawyer had to come out and say, no, these weren't pictures of the actual party. I asked them to recreate what happened that day. This might be the worst lawyer in the... Or maybe the best. Or maybe the best.
Because... She basically incriminated herself and said, I know this stuff is racist and stereotypical, which leads to you're the person who's curating this party, so then you are creating stereotypical and racist things. Yeah. But the funniest part for me is her husband stood by her.
Yeah, he did.
Like, you know how all these athletes get caught cheating and they wife is like right there. The way he just stood by her as she just like torpedoed the whole conference was hilarious.
She said, I already apologized. What more do you want from me?
I apologize.
I'm supposed to be fine now.
Okay.
Like, I said I'm sorry.
Just because I spent the majority of my online time finding and tweeting out racist imagery and memes does not mean if I saw a nigga in real life.
I just wondered, like, what does she type into her search history? Like, her search history. Nigger? Like,
1,000%. You asked why nigger's trending. Apparently, maybe she's online.
Man, shit. She's literally changing all the metadata by herself.
We're over. I don't know. You had something to say?
I want to take it to some black excellence, but
yes. Do you?
Serena?
Because we do have. I mean,
joy in Jasiri's eyes right now.
There is this, and I feel like we kind of have to talk about it. I mean, basically, you have two sitting senators talking about that there will be riots in the streets if Donald Trump is either prosecuted or if he's arrested.
You heard that correctly.
Like...
Are we looting too? I just want to
know. Are they going to loot?
Which store? Are we going down Rodale Drive?
LL Bean is fucked. They're going to go to LL Bean and J. Crew.
Will there be any MAGA people by the Louis Vuitton store? I just had a question.
Is about to go down.
I think Louis Vuitton hates Trump. I think
it was Gucci who funded the whole entire investigation.
Absolutely. Like, so I mean, I don't know if you want to play the clip of Lindsey Graham, but and I guess this is a question for you, Miracle. I mean, this seems like it should be. I mean, it almost seems like it should be illegal. Like, this is a threat, right? Basically, you're saying if Trump is like, if the FBI and the DOJ just do their job, and because I mean, it's not even a question of whether the dude did criminality. Obviously, he did. But if they just do their job and arrest or prosecute Donald Trump, like, they're going to be riots in the street.
Let's hear this. Hold up.
Yes. If there's a prosecution of Donald Trump for mishandling classified information after the Clinton debacle, which you presided over and did a hell of a good job, there'll be riots in the streets.
riots in the street.
And like Jimmy Johnson.
And then, he
lives like Jimmy Johnson.
Senator Josh Hawley tweeted that there would be or somebody tweeted a comment that he made that there would be riots if Trump gets arrested. I mean,
if in fact he did something wrong, we won't stand for it. We will stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
We will stand back and stand by if our rightfully elected president,
who
wrongfully displaced, who was impeached twice with no evidence, we will riot to protect him.
Shouldn't there? I mean, and of course, Lindsey Graham also
got to take that seriously,
facing a lawsuit. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but shouldn't be like it should. I mean, that's what you tell us, right? Oh, just don't commit if you didn't commit the crime, if you didn't do nothing wrong, why are y'all rioting over George Floyd? He had a Confederate bill. Why, it was just something that came out.
A counterfeit bill. Because they could be contextually
Farouk.
A counterfeit bill.
He said Confederate bill.
I did say Confederate.
Just let it go.
Yes, I did say Confederate.
So he had Confederate money?
No, I mean,
God bless the dead.
God, this is why you should have gotten bullied more.
Oh,
I was. That's why I turned out the way I
a ketchup pack to the back of your neck.
It didn't work.
No, so for real, because like
don't try to be sensitive now.
The National Police Association just put out this statement about how George Floyd was a criminal and Philando Castile was a criminal and Trayvon, all these people were criminals. And why were we protesting for them? But you're saying that if the DOJ or the FBI find that Trump violated the law and arrest him, y'all gonna riot because of that?
Yes, that's exactly what we're saying. And thank you for coming to my press conference. Thank you for coming to my TED Talks. Riots will happen.
Miracle.
They could play 2 Chainz. We're gonna start a riot.
But I mean, is there something? I mean, can we do something about this or no?
Who is we?
Hell, we French now?
Who is we?
Niggas speaking French on the show.
These people trying to shoot the FBI. There's nothing that we can do.
They did try to shoot the FBI. That is crazy.
They gonna riot. We just gonna have to go watch. Just close the windows.
Hey, man.
Board up our doors. And just hope they don't start killing black people like their ancestors.
Lord have mercy.
This season
you're right.
of America, man.
I mean,
this season of America.
It is super wild. I mean, and yeah. So do we have...
Find me at the Louis store. And support.
Hey, Jazz.
Just trying to clean up.
Could you give me a book that's over there? That's just a random book, please.
Yeah,
I don't care. Or Jack, anybody.
Yes, please grab a book.
Are we gonna do the
you
the
said
gray one?
Well, you said
perfect.
we did that already.
The gray
okay.
one.
We did that already. You had mentioned Black Excellence Miracle.
Yes.
This is what we're gonna do.
This is what we're going to do.
This is where we are.
You had mentioned Black Excellence. Did you want to talk about Black Excellence Miracle?
I did want to talk about Black Excellence.
Okay.
But first. The Hoteps got me.
They got you, Miracle?
The Hoteps got me.
Is the Hotep across from you?
Hey, listen. I just thought the book looked interesting. I was like, you know what? Let me add this to the library.
Everybody's reading it, so we're reading it as well. It's a really interesting look about what happened during slavery.
They was eating people.
Yeah. I mean,
trigger warning talking about cannibalism.
Yeah.
Trigger warning. As well
cannibalism or cannibalism?
I will beat you.
Ooh, come on. Don't get bullied. She about to get, don't get a Ciroc bottle upside the head. on This Week in White Supremacy.
Well, I don't fight. I don't argue. I just hit that with a bottle. Got problems? I know how to solve it.
Party and bullshit and party. Oh my God.
So The Delectable Negro is what it's called.
But read it. It's great.
Who's the author?
Very interesting. Vincent Woodard.
Yes.
He basically was exploring slavery, but his thing for slavery, he was looking at same-sex relationships. And then through that lens, he started to look at how people viewed black people through how they engaged, particularly black bodies.
Yes.
And then found out they were out here cannibalizing folks. So it's a really good book.
Lord have mercy.
I'm almost halfway through, but it's really good.
Absolutely.
But, Black Excellence, our sister Serena.
Yes.
She started out common swing, ended up with diamonds.
Yeah, but
head to toe.
Man, that was so dope, man. That was so dope.
Played her last U.S. Open, due to health issues. She was not able to, compete at the top level. Shows you once again why we say abortion is health care, because pregnancy does have long-lasting impacts on the body. But she is retiring. She just played her last U.S. Open. Was amazing, beautiful. You can go back and watch it. Her little baby girl was cheering for her and looked so beautiful while she was doing that. And so we want to give props to Serena. A lot of people are calling her the GOAT, the greatest athlete who's ever done it more than anyone else.
Yes, I agree.
She won. She took the world of tennis by storm, made it popular, raised up a whole generation of people coming through. So props to Serena. She did it with grace. Under when racism, bigotry, anti-blackness, people talk about her looks, her body, everything, and she just still soared and won. Just amazing. So props to Serena.
Props to Serena.
One of the greatest competitors in the history of, sports, period.
Absolutely. And then we have some events. This weekend will be in Philadelphia. Some members of One Hood will be in Philadelphia, Made in America.
Why?
We're at the Cause Village for the Made in America festival.
Yeah.
And so if you happen to be in Philadelphia.
But what if you weren't Made in America?
Come see us at the Cause Village. Maybe we should ban you from being a part of our.
Well, the biggest acts from Made in America are not from America, so
true.
It's fine.
Bad. Well, yeah, true.
Why is everybody mad at Bad Bunny?
Are people mad at Bad Bunny?
Yeah, because he kissed a guy. Like, I don't get it.
Oh, man, Bad Bunny's taking over. You know what I'm
Bad
saying?
Bunny, Burner Boy. That's what I'm
Bad
so
Bunny,
excited.
Burner Boy, Tyler the Creator. So that'll be dope. But we also have events here. We'll be back at Liberty Green on Friday, 7 to 9.
And me and Austin will be at an open mic on Saturday in North Allegheny Commons Park.
Right.
If I'm reading that right. No, Allegheny Commons Park, North Side.
Yes.
My bad. You can still sign up. You could also show up and sign up on the spot. I'll make sure to post a link in my bio. Maybe even drop it in the chat. Who knows?
And that's the 50th anniversary of the Thomas Merton Center. So shout out to Thomas Merton Center. They do a lot of great work in the city.
Speaking of 50th anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Boom. See our fresh shirts. Next year, 50th anniversary of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So we're representing for our folks. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see more about that. Miracle?
I was at a hip hop concert and somebody said, I'm biracial as fuck on the stage. And
Oh, no.
I think I know who that person was.
Miracle.
No.
But it's okay.
The safe bet would be
Wait. But it's okay because 9 men raised him, called the Wu-Tang, and it's okay now for him. But just so you know.
The corniest nigga ever.
I died.
Yes, he is very cool. But, Wiz was there. Shout out to Wiz coming back home. You know what I'm saying? We support Wiz Khalifa and his music.
I should have recorded it soon to y'all.
That would have been hilarious.
I'd have been instantly triggered.
With that being said, any last comments, words, Miracle?
Make sure you're registered to vote.
Yes.
You have an election so October 24th. Somebody has an album dropping, so pre-save, pre-order.
Yes. Pre-save, revolutionary but gorgeous.
Okay.
Available on all digital streaming platforms on my fucking birthday because it's Virgo season.
Okay.
And we're doing things correctly to show all these other signs how a birthday's supposed to be separated. By yourself. No,
Pipe down.
we keep it to ourselves.
Calm down.
Oh my God.
We don't need to make productions
give
about
somebody
that.
an inch to take a whole mile.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a drop
Throw
for
somebody
your
an
album.
alley-oop. This dude got to do 360s.
360 dunk, man, between
2
the legs.
flips. Trouble.
Never lose sight.
Never lose sight. So we will see y'all next week. This week in White Supremacy, y'all. Peace. One Hood.
Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and the wick they mouth. The last gasp of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white